Oh, looks like we've got a couple of dead lamps on the meters. That's a shame. Let's crack on. Hello, and welcome to another MrBetaByte video, and this one's a little bit different insofar as we're looking at a Sony SLO1700, SLO1700 Betamax, of course. And these are as tough as old boots, these machines. I love these machines. This is actually a repair. It's come in from Tim. Thank you very much, Tim. And problem with this, you can probably see, we've got colour problems. So this will be a fun one. Hoping it's going to be a fairly straightforward repair as well, because I'm a bit short of time. So let's crack on. Okay, so this machine has seen life. It's missing a screw there, and I have actually got the door for it, but unfortunately the plastic's broken. I might see if I can fabricate something for that. We shall see. So we'll take out... yeah, I will take this out. I don't actually need to take the flap off, but I will do, because no doubt it'll need a little bit of TLC. Just doing this one-handed. And let's move top screw. I'm going to take the bottom off as well. I can't actually remember where the chrominance board is on these. So then we should have a couple screws, one here. Should just be able to slide this off like so. Lovely. So, there's something interesting going on with the belt there. It's actually a flat belt. It doesn't feel too clever either. It seems alright, but we might be putting another one of those on. And like I say, chrominance I think will be on the bottom. So I do actually have some lamps as well for the meters, so we'll no doubt change those. Yeah, let's just eject that. Super. Take the bottom off. So the screws out, and they are, I've shown these before, but they are these little Sony specific screws. They are actually used on a few other machines, but Sony's used them an awful lot in the 80s. And a couple of them are really tight. So there we go. It's actually fairly clean and tidy. I mean, these were primarily used for duplication, and they are really well built. And as a result, they tend to be in fairly clean environments, especially for the beginning parts of their lives. Yeah, that's all looking very nice and clean, to be honest. Sockets look good, no real damage or anything. The reason I was saying that lead there, well, that connector just looks a little bit bent, but I think it's fine. Okay, so this is a little bit odd. I do wonder if my 4.43 is maybe a little bit off. I have known crystals go bad. I've changed a few actually, and I believe these can cause problems. I mean, I've never had a problem with the variable cap, but there's been a lot of work in the servo section, both capstan and it looks like head drum as well. Somebody's had a really good attempt at getting this to go. And that was sort of makes me a little bit more wary. But yeah, there's a lot of chips changed. This one, this one, this one, this one, this one. And I do think they've been changed rather than just going for dry joints. So yeah, somebody's had a really good go. What I did is I noticed if the drum ran a tiny bit faster, I got full colour. So I adjusted the free spin head free speed, and you can sort of see it does almost get full colour when it sort of peaks, but I now have the capstan going crazy and the head speed is all over the place. I can't adjust that out now, and I've only touched the head free speed, which I think is probably because this has been on a little bit. I don't think it's what I've done. I think it's as this machine has got going. But I do wonder if that crystal might be bad, or the adjustment for it. So I suppose we better check that. I have actually got a load of these crystals, so that's cool. I'm sort of, just for the fun of it, tempted to just change the crystal and see what happens. Might that be a good idea? I don't know. Bit bodgy, isn't it? Yeah, I might do that, and then we'll put the scope on it. But yeah, let's crack on. Okay, so it's the next day. I've just powered this up, and I thought I'd measure the 4.43 just to see if it's there. So this resistor actually bridges a gap in the print. Obviously a modification. I'm getting nothing at all, but I'm also getting really strange behavior. Very, very strange. I'm wondering if I've actually got power supply faults, you know. But yeah, it's so strange. Okay, so the plot thickens. Literally within seconds of trying it from cold, it was playing fine, apart from obviously that bit of hunting. But the 4.43, it's there, but if I tap the board, I probably won't do it now. It was really intermittent. It's like all these things, isn't it? It's just like when you want it to do it, it won't do it. That's actually looking pretty healthy now. But it's just very intermittent at times. It's like disappearing. So my feeling is 4.43, 4.44, so yeah, that's fine. So I've made the executive decision to actually change the 194B controller chip for the capstan. Also does a head motor. I can't actually remember, it's so long ago. All basically what was going on with this on the SLO, but I do remember that the voltages were all over the place, and I just suspect that this chip has a part of its of the stage of basically controlling speed that's gone bad. So I'm going to take this one out, swap it over, and then take it from there. At least I know, because I know this is a good board, so I know this chip is good. So if I can eliminate that, then maybe we can get to the bottom of what else is going on. But that machine is just so crazy at the moment that I just think it just needs to be done. So yeah, I'd just swap the chip and then do some more diagnostics and just find out what is going on. If this doesn't fix it, I'm fairly confident it will, but anyway, we'll see. Yeah. So there we have it. What was throwing me is there is actually a wire that is soldered into the pin. Okay, so there's a 194B -5 chip there. Added complication as far as this is a double-sided board, so I'm going to be very pleased of having the solder sucking iron, but it just makes it just that little bit more sort of so we'll see how we get on. I'm noticing, I mean, these caps should be okay because these are later production Sanyo caps, so I'm not too worried about that. But let's get this changed and just see what happens. So yeah, let's crack on. So replacement chip is in, and it's actually quite difficult to do on these because of the double-sided print, and also the size of the holes for the pins. They're actually quite large, so the solder on the double-sided, on the traces on the other side, the solder sort of travels through, and it's actually quite difficult to get all of the solder out. It proved to be quite a bit more effort than I was expecting to actually get that out, but it's all done. And yeah, let's see if my stab in the dark has worked. So you'll notice that we do actually have the TM2 timer units back on this machine. This one I bought a few years ago actually, and it was actually on my own machine, but Neil very kindly has sent me a few of these, the actual 2,000 hour ones which they would have had. So I've put one of those on mine, and I've put this one on here. This is actually showing about sort of 2,500, about halfway through, I think. So it's sort of fairly realistic, I suppose. I don't know, but it just makes it look complete. And we will do these level meter lamps as well. But yeah, let's give it a try. see what happens. And so far so good. We've got a little bit of hunting about, but that needn't necessarily be a bad thing. Because everything's been fiddled with, so it'll have to be set. I don't think that's any better. I think what I'll do is I'll just do some rough adjustments and just see if I can get this a bit better with this chip, and we'll take it from there. So I made a bit of a discovery. These two caps here, they're 6.3 volt, 470 microfarad. They probably are actually okay, but because of what they are, I tend to find the 6.3 volt electrolytics can be quite unreliable, and these are straight across the 5 volt rail to this chip. I think it's the second supply, so I'm going to, or second rail, it's got 2 rails to it, so I'm going to change those just from just good practice really, I suppose. But I don't know whether you can see, we've got some leakage going on from this cap here. And this is a 4.7 microfarad rated at 25 volts. And it's leaked, and I've tested it, and it's terrible. And looking, there's 3 of them that have all gone physically leaky here. And then we've got this one here as well. It's starting to go. You can see a little bit of green on the resistor there. Resistor leg, and a little bit even there. All the rest seem fine, but yeah, it's just all the 4.7 25 volt caps, so I'll change all of those, and those 2 there, and there was another one I was going to change as well, but I'll cover that when I've changed it. Oh, it's a 47 volt microfarad cap, which I think is that one maybe, but yeah, I'll change them anyway, and then we'll just put them on the tester, and we'll see how we go. But I've managed to get it, I've been able to adjust the speeds of everything correctly. I've got caps down run on, taking out a pause, which possibly could be something to do with these caps. I did try doing heat and cold tests, which identified this cap here as being bad, and I could actually get it to play perfectly, and it would play for, you know, an hour fine, and then you let it cool down and it would go funny again. So it's really doing quite well considering how bad these caps are. But anyway, I'll crack on, get those changed, and take it from there. So all changed. See, I've used tantalums for the 4.7s because it's all I had. And these 2 caps, they look like they are too tall, but they're actually the same height as the originals, just not as wide, so that's fine. So I think we ought to, oh, I also changed that 47 microfarad 25 volt cap as well. It was a 10 volt cap. I don't think it's going to be a problem, but I've changed it anyway, just because I have, from experience, found them to be a little bit dodgy. There are other 4.7s, like there's one here and here, and they all seem to be okay. There doesn't seem to be any signs of leakage. I mean, obviously not tested them, but we'll see how it performs now those are changed. I do wonder if it did cause problems with the original chip, because it was weird that once I changed the chip I could actually lock in the speed, albeit with a colour issue, but the colour issue was actually down to that cap there actually sort of dragging down the speed. So the with the head speed being constant, I got a colour issue because the head speed was actually slower than it needed to be, but it wasn't hunting, so it was skewing the feedback, basically, causing it to sort of run slow at normal speed, if that makes sense. So without it hunting about trying to lock to speed, you know, if you got it so you got colour, it would start hunting about because it was running too fast. So it was actually skewing what normal speed should be. So yeah, interesting, but we'll see. But yeah, that's really cool. So yeah, let's test these caps. Testing the first one. Yeah, that's terrible. Look at the ESR. Second one, and these are all the 4.7 microfarad. So yeah, not terrible, but also, yeah, maybe. So that previous one was actually another one I found in the servo circuit that actually looked okay, hadn't leaked. Yeah, this is a leaky one. It's another 4.7, 76 ohms ESR. So I actually had problems putting this in the meter because the leg feels like it's going to break off. Yeah, that's terrible. And this is a 47 microfarad, 10 volts. That's not actually too bad. I mean, obviously heat has an effect on these as well, but yeah, it's interesting. This one's just got a bit of flux on the bottom of it. So, oh, these probes are terrible. Oh. Let's see if it is the probes. That one's okay, actually. It's reading a bit low, but it's not too bad. Let's try this other one again. Is it really open circuit? That won't be helping things. Oh. I've got a better probe somewhere, I can't find it. There we go. Yeah, not bad, but I'm glad I changed them. It's just peace of mind, isn't it, really? Well, yeah, I mean, let's give it a try, I suppose. So, just to add to the suspense of the whole thing, I'm actually going to do the VU meter lamps. I have some here. These are actually not quite the correct ones, as far as I remember. I believe these are non-frosted. They should be frosted. So, yeah, that's fine. We'll see what they look like. You'll see in the thumbnail the difference between the two, because my one actually has the frosted ones. But there is actually a guy, I don't know if he's still selling them. If he is, I will put a link in the description. But he sells these type of sort of fuse style lamps for Tascam tape decks, and they fit this. Now he has actually got a listing for some lamps that are suitable for the SLO 1700, but they're the solder type, and he's actually mislisted them. Again, he might have corrected it, but that's as of 12 months ago from the making of this video. So, do actually have a screw missing off the top. I've taken off the hours counter, as you can see, and there is actually a bit of an odd issue as well with that, insofar as it's sort of pulled up here. So we'll have a look at that as well when we take the front off and just see what's going on. So yeah, let's crack on. So I've already taken one side off while I was chatting away. The other side off. So you need to take the sides off so you can actually remove the screw from the side there. Interestingly, the screws are exactly the same as the HF100. Super. So that's loose. And then 2 screws underneath. This one looks a little bit corroded. So I put a bit of this on. It's pretty heavy duty stuff and it's old. So it's got really nasty chemicals in it, which seem to really help break down. This one might not be so clever. It's got some rot in it. So yeah, let's change that. Sign that to the bin. Super. So the meters. Actually need a standard screwdriver for those. So now the painful bit, which is removing these, and they are on double-sided sticky. And can be quite tricky. Oh, let's have a look at this while we're here. Quite what's happened there. It's like someone's tried to pull it off altogether. Rotten on the back of it. Okay, not going to worry too much about that. So, how I have got these out before is by, and it's horrible, is by pushing from the back. You just have to be careful you don't damage the plastic too much. And once you get it started, it's just gone. So yeah, we'll unplug the meters. That should. Let's take that one out. So we don't scratch it. Super. So the meters are actually held on with 3 double-sided self-adhesive pads, about 1 mil thick. And the fronts to the meters themselves are actually held on with 3 sellotape strips. So you can see here 2, 3, and if we're careful we can do a really neat job of cutting through those. So there we go. You can see the frosted lamps. I seem to remember you've got to pull these back. And carefully remove the lamp. And then the new ones go in. And it's a bit of a squeeze. So you have to pull these back a bit further to accommodate them. So it's almost like a standard lamp holders, but they they sort of curl in the ends because the actual lamps they've chosen are not quite as long. So yeah, so that's back on. So what I'll do is put just a bit of sellotape in the same position, and do the same for the other VU meter, and we'll take it from there. So all done. Just use standard sellotape. You can actually, what I did on the second meter is just cut the tape on the sides, and I left the tape at the top as is, and just lifted it up and folded it over to put the lamp in. But yeah, I've removed the original adhesive. It's actually gone quite bad, and this is red tape, and it is about 1 mil thick. It comes in a roll like so. Let's see what it is. But it's a bit of a fiddle to get the top cover off because it is like glue. There we go. So I'll get and do that, reinstall the meters, and we'll take it from there. Okay, so here goes, power on for the first time after everything's been done. Well, those VU meters look great, so that's it. We're done. No. So I do expect to have to realign the speed, but well, it looks solid enough. I mean, the colour's awful, but yeah, we still may have a colour issue. Okay, so thinking about this, what's interesting is if I press pause, I do get colour and it's fine. I do still have the, when I release pause, it runs the caps down at a silly speed for a second. But yeah, the usual trick of tweaking the drum free speed doesn't work anymore. It's now working, but we do have a color issue. So, but I don't think I've actually got a color issue. I still think there's something not quite right somewhere in the actual servo section. So yeah, let's crack on. Okay, so I think we've got there. It did need a little bit of a adjustment just to get the servo back to where it should be. I was still getting slight colour issues, and the very slightest tweak on the AFC just brought it back. It was just the tiniest tweak. So that's fine. It will need a proper alignment, but I fixed the fault. That's the main thing. We now have a functioning video recorder. It just needs to be finished off, really. And there will be a part 2, and we'll look at the alignment, but also the upper drum needs to be done. Well, the deck needs to be serviced now. Now we've got a working machine. Change the belt. There's a crack on the pulley as well, so I'll have to look at that. Give it a clean, and yeah, it should be great. But really super pleased. If we press pause, it's not bad. A little bit of a jitter going on, but that's okay. We'll look at that. Cue forward, that can be adjusted as well. 2 adjustments for that. What is odd with this, I say it's odd, I suppose it's a professional machine, so and it's quite a packed professional machine, but none of these are actually labelled on the board, so you need the manual, and I will put a link to where you can get that. But yeah, I think we are all good to go. So I hope you enjoyed this one. I think it was a little bit different. So with that, thank you very much for watching, and look forward to seeing you in another video, hopefully. Bye for now.